Hey, what is up? Today we're going to create a digital scoring system that you can see in-game. It's not the actual scoring system in the corner. Super cool for 1v1 maps or practice maps, or in general just for all kinds of creative maps. So that's what we do here. So let's get right into it. So we have 4 different displays that we can show on our score manager. The first 2 are add and subtract, and these both give an extra sign to it, if you can say. You get a plus if you do add, and you get a minus if you do subtract. This one is blue and this one is red. So if you go in here and also change this to minus number, it also turns red, by the way. So that's important. If you put it to 0, it stays blue. Same goes for this one. If I put this one to -1, it turns blue, and if I put it to 0, it stays red. This is important. I would not use these 2 for if you do like 1v1 maps or something, because obviously the minus and the plus are kind of distracting, so it doesn't make any sense. So for the most part, you want to use the set option, because this is a green number, it looks nice, and it does not have anything special on it. Also, you can use the minus numbers, which are orange, and all you have to do is set a minus number in here. So this one is a plus number and this one is a minus. Also, if you put 0 in there, it also is green. That's important. So now that you understand how the display works, we can now create our actual thing, and it's super easy to make. All you need to do is change these 4 little settings. The first one, this is the one that we just mentioned. Set that to whatever you want, what you prefer. It doesn't matter really, but you know, it's obviously set. Set is the best one because it does not display anything else. The next one, and this is the important one. Forget this one. Obviously, you need to turn visibility on because otherwise you will not see it. Score incrementation and increment when receiving are the most important things in here. Incrementation basically adds 1 or whatever you put in there to the score manager. So what you want to do is, if you want to have 1 point for a score, then you want to set it to 1, and then you want to increment when receiving, set that to the channel that you're actually, you know, receiving the score from. So that's important. We need to use incrementation. Otherwise, if we're gonna use the actual score over here, or the whatever, activate and transmit score on whatever, then we're gonna actually transmit the actual score that is like in the game that counts for whatever, like the end of the game. So this one doesn't matter if you put increment and just increment it by 1 each time. You're just gonna have a visual number that goes up if you do anything with these kills, but it does not actually transmit anything. It's just there. It's a nice visual thing, and you can obviously add this score to your actual score. All you have to do is then just activate it and send it to whatever. They can do that in one of these settings. You can send it to the actual score, but you don't need to do that. That's the important stuff that I wanted to show. And obviously this works. So I've set this channel to channel 1. So if I'm now going to start the game. Okay, so now you can see if I shoot at the display, it will add 1 to the score thing. So you can see now I have 1. If I shoot it like 15 times again, it adds the score to it. It's super nice, super easy to use. And you can obviously not only use it with the trigger device. So you can also use it with the elimination manager. This one is a super underrated device. I think a lot of people don't really use it that much. But it's a super awesome device. You can do so much cool stuff in here, especially for your competitive maps. This is an awesome device because you can send actual scores if you kill someone or if you get eliminated. So basically all you need to do is just set the same channels that you set for the trigger that I just showed you in here, and then use it. This is awesome for 1v1 maps, or like maps where you play 1v1 player, or whatever eliminations you want to do. But there's also another device which is also kind of underrated, I think. Maybe not for actual adventure map create or whatever, but in the competitive scene, I think this device is super underrated, especially for like more than 1v1 maps, like for example 2v2 or 4v4, whatever. You can set a score value in here. Like for example, if I have a 4v4, a squad 1v1 map, if that makes sense, you can set in 4 targets in here, so, or 3 targets, whatever, and then you need 4 kills to get 1 point, right? So this is obviously very good to kind of don't mess with the score. So obviously every time you would kill a person, you would get +1. And obviously if you just kill one from the enemy team, that's not meant that you won the round, right? So you will need 4 kills to kill the whole enemy squad. So obviously that is a super nice device to add to like box fighting maps, whatever, like all this kind of stuff. where you have more than one player that needs to be eliminated. So keep that in mind. And obviously in the end, you can just create, you can make it look nice. Obviously this is kind of boring, but just an example. Also very important, you can't see the display thing on the bottom, right? This little thing right here. You can see that in game. Even if you turn it to invisible off, you cannot see this number anymore. So you can see that all the time. So make sure that you put it somewhere where you cannot see it. So otherwise it will look kind of ugly. So keep that in mind. And yeah, happy creating. Create some cool maps with it. And hopefully you could use this. And I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.